अस्बिरु अला फिराक़िक वहबनी सबरतु अला हर्रि नारिक फ़कैफ़ अस्बिरु अनिन नज़री इला करामतिक हम कैफ़ अस्कुनु फ़िन्नारि वरजाई अफ़्वुक फ़बिइज़्ज़तिक या सय्यदी या उक़सिमु सादिक़न लइन तरक्तनी नातिक़ा लाज़िजन्ना इलैका बहना अहलिया ज़जीजल आमिलीन वला अस्रुख़न्ना इलैका सुराख़ल मुस्तस्रिक़ीन वला अब्कियन्ना इलैका बुकाअल फ़ाख़िदीन वला उनादियन्नका ऐन कुन्त या वलिय्यल मोमिनीन या गायत आमालिल आरिफ़ीन या गियासल मुस्तगीसीन या हबीब क़ुलूबिस सादिक़ीन व या इलाहल आलमीन अफ़तुराक सुब्हानक या इलाही व बिहम्दिक तस्महु फ़ीहा सौतन अब सुजिन फ़ीहा बिमुख़ालफ़ती वज़ा ख़तामा ज़ाबिहा बिमासियती वहुबिस बैन अदबाक़िहा बिजुर्मिही व जरीरती वहुव यज़िज्जु इलैका ज़जीज मुअम्मिलिल लिरहमतिक व युनादीका बिलिसानि अहलि तौहीदिक व यतवस्सलु इलैका बिरुबूबियतिक या मौलाया फ़कैफ़ यबक़ा फ़िल अज़ाबि व हुव यरजू मा सलफ़ मिन हिल्मिक मिन हिल्मिक व रहमतिक अम कैफ़ तुलिमुहुन नार व हुव यामुलु फ़ज़लक व रहमतक अम कैफ़ यूरिख़ुहु लहीबुहा व अन्त तस्मउ सौतहु व तरा मकानक अम कैफ़ यश्तमिलु अलैहा ज़फ़ीरुहा व अन्त तालमु दअफ़ा अम कैफ़ यतख़लख़लु बैन अदबाक़िहा व अन्त तालमु सिदक़ा अम कैफ़ तस्जुरुहु ज़बानियतुहा व हुव युनादीका या रब्बा अम कैफ़ यरजू फ़ज़लक फ़ी इत्तिही मिन्हा व तत्रुकुहु फ़ीहा हैहात मा ज़ालिका ज़न्नु बिक वलल मारूफ़ु मिन फ़ज़लिक वला मुश्बिहुन लिमा आमल्त बिहिल मुवहिदीन मिन बिर्रिका व एहसानिक फ़बिल यक़ीनि अख़्तौ लौला मा हकमत बिही मिन ताज़िबी जाहिदिक व ख़दैत बिही मिन इक़लादी मुआनिदिक लजअल्तन नार कुल्लहा बरदन व सलामा व मा काना लिअहदिन फ़ीहा मक़र्रन वला मक़ामा लाकिन्नक तक़द्दसत अस्माउक अक़समत अन तमलहा मिनल काफ़िरीन मिनल जिन्नति वन्नासि अजमईन वअन तुख़ल्लिद फ़ीहल मुआनिदीन व अन्त जल्ल सनाउक क़ुल्त मुब्तदियन व ततव्वलत बिल इनामि मुतकर्रिमा अफ़मन कान मोमिनन कमन कान फ़ासिक़न ला यस्तवून इलाही व सय्यदी फ़असअलुका बिलक़ुद्रतिल्लती क़द्दरतहा व बिलख़दियतिल्लती हतमतहा व हकमतहा व ग़लबत मन अलैहि अजरैतहा अन तहब ली फ़ी हाज़िहिल लैला व फ़ी हाज़िहिस स्साअ कुल्ल जुर्मिन अजरमतुहु व कुल्ल ज़ंबिन अज़नबतुहु व कुल्ल ख़बीहिन असररतुहु व कुल्ल जहलिन अमिलतुहु कतमतुहु औ अअलनतु अख़फ़ैतुहु औ अज़हरतु व कुल्ल सय्यतिन अमरत बिइस्बातिहल किरामल कातिबीन अल्लज़ीना वक्कलतहुम बिहिफ़्ज़ि मा यकूनु मिन्नी वजअलतहुम शुहूदन अलैया मअ जवारिहि व कुन्त अंतर रक़ीब अलैया मिन वराइहिम व शाहिद लिमा ख़फ़िय अन्हुम व बिरहमतिका अख़फ़ैता व बिफ़ज़लिका सतरता व अन तुवफ़्फ़िर हज़्ज़ी मिन कुल्लि ख़ैरिन अंज़लता औ एहसानिन फ़द्दलता औ बिर्रिन नशरता औ रिज़्क़िन बसत्ता औ ज़ंबिन तग़फ़िरुहु औ ख़ताइन तस्जुरुहु या रब्बी या रब्बी या रब या इलाही व सय्यदी व मौलाया व मालिक رفقي يا من بيده ناصيتي يا لمن بذري ومسكنتي يا خبيرا بفخري وفاقتي يا ربي يا ربي يا رب أسألك بحقك وقدسك وعظم صفاتك وأسمائك أن تجعل أوقاتي من الليل والنهار بذكرك معمورة وبخدمتك موصولة وأعمالي عندك مقبولة حتى تكون أعمالي وأورادي كلها وردا واحدا وحالي في خدمتك سرمدا يا سيدي يا من عليه مؤولي يا من إليه شكوت أحوالي يا ربي يا ربي يا رب خوي على خدمتك جواره واشدد على العزيمة جوانه وهب لي الجد في خشيتك والدوام في الاتصال بخدمتك حتى أسرها إليك في ميادين السابقين وأسرها إليك في المبادرين واشتاق إلى قربك في المشتاقين وأدنو منك ندنو المخلصين وأخافك مخافة الموقنين وأجتمع في جبارك مع المؤمنين اللهم ومن أرادني بسوء فارد ومن كادني فاكد وجعلني من أحسن عبيدك نصيبا عندك وأقربهم منزلة منك وأخصهم زلفة لديك فإنه لا ينال ذلك إلا بفضلك وجد لي بجودك واعطف علي بمجدك وفزني برحمتك وجعل لساني بذكرك لهجا وقلبي بحبك متيما ومن علي بحسن إجابتك وأقلني أسرتي واغفر زلتي فإنك خديت على عبادك بعبادتك وأمرتهم بدعائك وزمنت لهم الإجابة فإليك يا ربي نسبت وجهي وإليك يا ربي مددت يدي فبعزتك استجب لي دعائي وبلغني منايا ولا تخطأ من فضلك رجائي واكفني شر الجن والإنس من أعدائي يا سري الرضا اغفر لمن لا يملك إلا الدعاء فإنك فعال لما تشاء يا من اسمه دواء وذكره شفاء وطاعته غنى ارحم من رأس ماله الرجاء وسلاؤه البكاء يا سابق النعم يا دافع النقم يا نور المستبشين في الظلام يا عالم لا يعلم صل على محمد وآل محمد وافعل بما أنت أهله وصلى الله على رسوله والأئمة الميامين من آله وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذا أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم إن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يرد الرحمن بضر لا تغني عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قوم بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وأعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون وآية له الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالعرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقهم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيء ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم أن لا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم ما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء وطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنا يبصرون ولو نشاء ولمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن نعمره نكسه في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم ما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنه ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون أفلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون ويعلنون أولم ير الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم ويحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون صدق الله العلي العظيم الفاتحة بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين صراط الذين
بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات. नहर पे हजरत अब्बास के लाशे के करीब, नहर पे हजरत अब्बास के लाशे के करीब, एक बहन खस्ता तनो कुश्ता जिगर खुफ्ता नसीब, बेनवा बेकसो
बेपर्दा लाचार गरीब, लेकिन उस पर भी मोहम्मद के घराने की नकीब। जर्द चेहरे पे है बिखरे हुए बालों की नकाब, जैसे जुज़दान में लिपटी हुई इस्मत की किताब। जा बजा जिस्म पे हैं खून के धब्बों के निशान, जैसे पीरी में उठाई हो कोई लाश जवान। वरम आँखों में कमर खम है तो खामोश ज़बान, ज़ब्त का फिर भी ये आलम है कि गिरियान अफ़गान। कौन बीबी है जो इस तरह से जान खोती है, जिस तरह लाश पे भाई के बहन रोती है। महवियत का ये है आलम की नजर हटती नहीं, चूमती है कभी शाने तो कभी झुक के जबी, कभी थर्राता है लाशा कभी मख्तल की ज़मीन। खौफ है अर्शे इलाही न उलट जाए कहीं, लाश अब्बास पे ये दुख्तरे हैदर तो नहीं, देखिए देखिए ये ज़ैनब मुस्तर तो नहीं। रो के कहती है उठो साहिबे शमशीर उठो, हैदर असर उठो वक्त के शब्बीर उठो, आल ततहीर की सोई हुई तकदीर उठो, काट दो आबिदे दिलगीर की जंजीर उठो। आग ही आग है भड़की हुई खेमों में तमाम, छिन गई सर से रिदा जाती हूँ मैं सुए शाम। शान क्या तेरे कटे बंध गई बाजू में रसन, सर पे क्या गुर्ज लगा हो गई बेपर्दा बहन। तेरी क्या जान गई मारे गए शाह ज़मन, फसले गुल ऐसी लुटी हो गया बर्बाद चमन। चैन से सोएंगे सब अहले सितम रातों को, खौफे आदा से न सो पाएंगे हम रातों को। मेरे अब्बास क़यामत है बपा तेरे बाद, लुट के बर्बाद हुई हाले आबाद तेरे बाद। मिट गई रस्म वफा जाने वफा तेरे बाद, खाक दुनिया में है जीने का मजा तेरे बाद। ले ले के रांडों को यतीमों को किधर जाए बहन, मेरे अब्बास दुआ मांगो के मर जाए बहन। वक्त रुखसत है मेरे बर मोहम्मद अलैहि सलाम।
محمد وآل محمد صلوات. Inshallah, we'll have Namaz Jummah tomorrow. Mu'min are requested to be here by 12:55, so we can start on time at 12:58. So Mu'min are requested to be here on time at 12:55 for Namaz Jummah. Can you please recite Surah Fatiha for Ayatullah Sayyid Fadil Milani, Surah Mubarakat al-Fatiha. Can you please also recite Surah Fatiha for Marhum Riyaz Rajbali, Marhuma Salma by Azad Hansraj, Marhuma Zinad Ibrahim Haji, Marhum Abbas Ali, son of Abdul Rasul Saloon, Marhum Ali Ahmad Jadi, Marhum Roshan Ali Merali, Marhuma Shirin Roshan Ali Merali, and all of Marhum in Surat Mubarakat al-Fatiha. Can you please invite the Mawlana to the member of the loud Nari Sabat Bar Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad Salawat.
رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط غير المغضوب لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل، نعم المولى ونعم النصير. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وبه نستعين وهو خير ناصر ومعين. الحمد لله الفرد الأحد الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد، ثم الصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على سيدنا ونبينا مولانا بالقاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتخبين المنتجبين، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من يوم عداوتهم إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال مولانا أمير المؤمنين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: وغير موصوف ما نزل بهم اجتمعت عليهم سكرة الموت وحسرة الفوت. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. Respected Mu'minin, as you all are aware, that tonight Majlis we dedicated for Isa al-Sawab of Marhum Ayatullah Sayyid Fadil Milani, who was great scholar of our time. MashaAllah, he has dedicated entire of his life in serving the Islam, and especially in Europe and in our country. When we look at the Milani family, really it is a great family, and his ancestor also, they have served Islam by writing so many books. And he himself, mashallah, he was mujtahid, and he is the founder of the Hawza in Syria. In my time, he used to be one of the great scholar and great teacher of the Hawza Ilmiya. And then after he moved to UK, and also in UK he established the Hawza Ilmiya, and throughout of his life he was giving the durus of Hawza, not only the level or the low level of the Hawza classes, higher and greater level, which is called the Ijtihad, Darsul Ijtihad he used to give. So that is why I have decided to discuss in this Majlis the topic about the Sakaratul Maut. Sakaratul Maut also, it is a word which is used in Quran, and it is very common word among us, that the Sakaratul Maut, when we have to depart from this dunya, when we are about to go from this dunya, we have to face this Sakaratul Maut. So this Sakaratul Maut, actually, it is very well explained by our beloved Mawla Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam. If you look at the khutbah of Nahj al-Balagha number 109, 109, so it is called Khutbatul Zahra, beautiful khutbah and very lengthy khutbah. In that khutbah, Amirul Mu'mineen mentioned 7 beautiful topics. And one of the topic Amirul Mu'mineen, he discussed, it was Sakaratul Maut. Ulama, they have divided, this khutbah into 7 parts. 4th part of this khutbah, Amirul Mu'mineen discussed about how, soul, when human being is about to depart from this dunya, how our soul is taken out. What are the condition, what situation we face at the time of death? Because death is something which is not deniable, which no one can deny it. No matter, someone has faith in Allah, no matter someone is man, women, poor, rich, anyone accept the reality of death and believe that one day he has to depart from this dunya. So everyone, he has faith in the death. And one day, of course, we have to depart from this dunya. So this khutbah, it is so beautiful khutbah, Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, he portrayed the picture of death over there. And that is why one of the, Sunni scholar, whose name is, he is a writer of, commentator of Nahj al-Balagha. And over there, he, before he mentioned this khutbah, so because this khutbah, it is so beautiful, especially when it comes to the literature, when it comes to the eloquence. So when it comes to eloquence, it is a masterpiece of the eloquence or masterpiece of Arabic literature. So this alim, when he interpreted the khutbah of Amirul Mu'mineen, his book name is Sharh Ibn Abil Hadid. Ibn Abil Hadid is his name. So Sharh Ibn Abil Hadid is very famous. Sharh Nahj al-Balagha is very common among the scholars. So over there, before mentioning this khutbah, what he says Man arada an yata'allam al-fasahata wal-balagha falyata'allam hadhihi al-khutbah. If anyone has intention of learning eloquence or the Arabic literature, so someone wants to know what is the Arabic literature, he said he has to revert to this khutbah of Amirul Mu'mineen. And then he says, فَإِنَّ نِسْبَتُهَا إِلَى كُلِّ فَصِيحٍ نِسْبَةُ الْكَوَاكِبِ الْمُنِيرَةِ إِلَى الْحِجَارَةِ الْمُظْلِمَةِ. If you put this masterpiece of the literature and you want to compare the other, literature material with it, so you will find the comparison would be similar to, like if you put a star on one hand, illuminating a star, and you put a lot of, stones, those are black stones. So Amirul Mu'mineen, he said, Ibn Abil Hadid, he says this khutbah of Amirul Mu'mineen is similar to that it is like a star before the black stones. So beautiful khutbah. And then he says, لَوْ تُلِيَتْ عَلَى زِنْدِيقٍ مُلْحِدٍ لَحَدَّتْ قُوَّةً. When it comes to the content of the khutbah, he says even if this khutbah is put before a person who is mulhid, the one who is atheist, does not have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and is stubborn, is not ready to accept Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said if the content of Amirul Mu'mineen, what he has mentioned about the Sakaratul Maut, if it is put before that kafir or that disbelieving person, his stubbornness will be broken, and he will have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then this man, he says another sentence about the Amirul Mu'mineen. He said, Jazakallahu qa'iluha anil Islam ma ablagha nusratahu. Actually, he's a Sunni scholar because he does not have faith that Imam Amirul Mu'mineen, he's a Imam. So he's just looking at his text and the eloquence of the khutbah. He says, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward him a lot, because he has done a lot of nusra, he has done a lot of support to the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he explained how Amir al-Mu'minin, he has, presented his nusrat, he has presented his services to the religion of Islam. He said, Taratan biyadihi wa qalbihi. Sometime, Amir al-Mu'minin, he presented his nusrat and support to the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by his hands, because Amir al-Mu'minin has participated in so many battles. And then wa qalbihi, and also by having sincere heart to the religion of Islam. And then he said, وَتَارَةً بِلِسَانِهِ. Sometime Amir al-Mu'minin, he used to present his service to Islam by his tongue. وَتَارَةً بِفِكْرِهِ, by his thought. Then he continued and he says, beautiful word, and he says, وَإِنْ قِيلَ جِهَادٌ وَحَرْبٌ وَهُوَ سَيِّدُهُ. When it comes to the field of jihad, when it comes to the fighting for the sake of Islam, so he said, وَهُوَ سَيِّدُهُ. He is the Sayyid and he is the master of all the warriors, holy warriors. And then he says, in qila wa'adun, when it comes to preaching, when it comes to giving mu'adha, وَهُوَ أَبْلَغُ الْوَاعِدِينَ. He is the most effective preacher for the Islam. And then he continues and he says, وَإِنْ قِيلَ فِقْهٌ وَتَفْسِيرٌ وَرَأْسُ الْفُقَهَاءِ وَالْمُفَسِّرِينَ. When it comes to the fiqh, jurisprudence, when it comes to the mufassir or tafsir, interpretation of the Quran, he says, رَئِيسُ الْفُقَهَاءِ وَرَئِيسُ الْمُفَسِّرِينَ. Amir al-Mu'minin, he is the head of all the commentator and all the those who have the knowledge of the jurisprudence. And then he says, وَإِنْ قِيلَ عَدْلٌ وَتَوْحِيدٍ وَإِمَامُ الْعَدْلِ وَإِمَامُ الْمُوَحِّدِينَ. When it comes to the monotheism, the discourse of Tawheed and the discourse of justice, he said he is Imamul Adl and Imam of the monotheists. This is a Sunni scholar, he is interpreting. Now, what Amir al-Mu'minin has mentioned over here in this khutbah, Amir al-Mu'minin, when it comes to the fourth part of this khutbah, so he start giving the interpretation of the death. What is that? What is our topic? Sakaratul maut. So what Amir al-Mu'minin says? Amir al-Mu'minin said, when a death is about to reach to a human being, or when death is stand before the human being, what happened? What happened? Amir al-Mu'minin said, وَغَيْرُ مَوْصُوفٍ مَا نَزَلَ بِهِمْ. Death is something which cannot be described in words. However, Amir al-Mu'minin is giving the description. He is, portraying the death picture over here. But still he says, what I am portraying for you, it is not completed. Because the words, they do not contain, the words, they are not capable to contain the matalib or the condition or the situation which human being has to go through when it is a time of death. So he says, فَغَيْرُ مَوْصُوفٍ مَا نَزَلَ بِهِمْ اجْتَمَعَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ سَكْرَةُ الْمَوْتِ وَحَسْرَةُ الْفَوْتِ. Two things Amir al-Mu'minin has mentioned. Amir al-Mu'minin says, when death comes, two difficulties at one time fall on human being. So what are those two difficulties? Number one, sakratul maut. It is a pain of death. Pain, sakratul maut. Sakra means, I will explain for you the meaning of sakra is, literal meaning of sakra is intoxication. So sakratul maut, but just I'm, giving you the, gist of it. Sakratul maut means the pain of death. So Amir al-Mu'minin says, what are those two things? One is sakratul maut, the pain of death. Number two, hasratul faut, the grief of losing everything. Because when a person faces the death, so one pain is that his soul is getting out. His soul is taken out from his body. This pain is on one hand. The other pain, hasratul faut, is about to lose everything. He's about to, give up and isolate, separate everything from himself. So, just imagine in this dunya, when we have difficulties in life, we fight with the difficulties. But sometimes two difficulties comes at the same time. Then it becomes very difficult for a human being. For example, someone lost his car. So he has pain for it. So what he does, for example, someone is at his office and he loses his and his car is stolen. So of course he will have pain of it, and then he has to come with public transport, or let's say with taxi or whatever. And when he reaches at home, he finds that his house is also burnt out. So what would happen? And then he would see that his wife also left because he has no more money. So when the difficulties and problems are gathered at one juncture, so what happened? It is a most difficult moment for the human being. So when he says two difficulties come at once when the death is stand before us. Number one, it is sakratul maut. Number two, hasratul maut, hasratul faut. What is the meaning of hasratul faut before I explain for you the sakratul maut? Hasratul faut means, when we lose something, so we have pain for it. Let's say you earned something, and it is lost. So what happened? You will have sadness. And if everything in this dunya, let's say, we have earned so much money, we have earned, a lot of money in our life, and out of sudden all of our money is stolen or snatched from us. So what would happen? We will have a hasrat, we will have a pain for it. And in this dunya, we have gained so many things. Even this body, we are attached with this body. And when death would come, so what would happen? The body, we had looked after it throughout of our life. We were looking after our hands, our eyes, our ear, everything which is belong to dunya. So at the time of death, we have to leave it. And that is why, one of the great scholars, Ayatollah Shahabadi, he says that human being should not attach himself with dunya so much as at the time of death, he become the enemy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because many times it happened, when death is before us, and because human being, he knows that whatever, beloved I have in this dunya, my children, my family, my wife, my relatives, my house, my car, my furniture, at once everything will be, snatched from us. At once everything will be lost. So what happened? Many times you see people, what they say, Ya Allah, this is not the time of right time for my death. Ya Allah, I have small children. Ya Allah, things are scarce. Ya Allah, many things I could not, wind up. Ya Allah, allow me. You are taking my soul so soon. So many people at the time of death, they become the enemy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to be very careful. So Amir al-Mu'minin, he's explaining. He said, at one time, two things are gathered. One is hasratul faut. The other one is sakratul maut. What is sakratul maut? Even if you look at the Quran in Surah Qaf, verse number 19, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also uses this word. وَجَاءَتْ سَكْرَةُ الْمَوْتِ بِالْحَقِّ ذَلِكَ مَا كُنْتُ تَحِيدُ. When the death would come, it comes with the sakratul maut, with the pain of death. So if you look at the dictionary in regard of this sakra actually, the literal meaning of it is intoxication. And that is why Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam, in one of his hadiths, however, there are so many hadiths in regard of this sakra, the meaning of sakra. Literal meaning, I told you, the intoxication. And what is the intoxication? Why we say that intoxication is bad? Because your aql does not work when you are intoxicated. Your aql, 100%, it doesn't work. So that is why, it is haram to consume wine or consume anything which intoxicate you. So Amir al-Mu'minin, in one of the hadiths, he says, as-sukru arba'a sakarat. This sakra, this intoxication, it has 4 categories. One category, sakratul mal. Sometimes human being, he has an intoxication of wealth. Someone, you see in this dunya, when someone get the wealth, so he had this intoxication. So Amir al-Mu'minin says there is a category of the sakra intoxication. It is an intoxication of wealth. However, mu'minin, they do not have this type of intoxication. They are not intoxicated with their wealth. They are kafirin. So when a kafir or when not mu'min receive wealth, so he is intoxicated. What does it mean? It doesn't mean that he closes his eyes and he is drowsy. No, it means his intellect, stop working properly. Half of his intellect is inactive at that moment. Whatever he speak nonsense. So that is why you see in this world, So many, people, those who are wealthy, they have takabbur, they have arrogance, and what they speak, it is nonsense. So, when he says, first category, it is sakratul mal. Second category, it is sakratul jah, the position intoxication. Someone he has a position, someone has got a chair. He's the president of country. He got power. He got a position. So such a person become intoxicated with his position. And there is another intoxication, sakratu sharab. When human being consume the sharab or wine, so he is intoxicated. His aql does not work or become inactive. So his aql 100% is not working. Maybe some percentages are not there. Anyway, so this is third sakratul. Number one, sakratul mal, sakratul jah, and sakratul sharab, and sakratul nom. And also, when human being depart from this dunya, this word also used over there, sakratul maut. Quran says sakrat, waja'at sakratul maut. When human being is about to depart, he will face the intoxication condition, intoxication situation at the time of death. What is the meaning of it? Meaning of it, when someone is in so much pain, someone has so much grief. So what happened? His aql, become inactive, or his aql reduce functioning. So this situation is called the sakratul maut. Let me give you an example. Mashallah, most of you are doctors. So sometimes what happens when you have a patient and you want to operate him? So what do? You give him the injection of anesthetic injection. Am I right? So what happened? The moment you give it, so this person, he is fainted, and he goes into like unconscious condition. So you ask him to count 1, 2, 3, and then immediately he fallen down and his tongue stops working. But when he wakes up from that effect of the medicine, so when he wakes up, he does not wakes up immediately or quickly. It takes time. There is a time which is in which half of his aql is working, the other half is not working. If you ask him something, he may not respond. Or this is the condition, when you ask him something, he will respond you truthfully. Maybe when he is awake, he is he has focus and he does not have any anesthetic. Maybe he will speak lie. But in that situation, so this situation, it is called sakra. So in the condition of sakra, human being, whatever he speak truth. That is why, when human being is about to depart from this dunya, he would face this condition which is called sakratul maut. Here, if you want to speak lie, he will not speak lie. Whatever he will speak only the truth. And that is why Amir al-Mu'mineen over here, he says, وَجَاءَتْ سَكْرَةُ الْمَوْتِ. Amir al-Mu'mineen, he says, فَغَيْرُ مَوْصُوفٍ مَا نَزَلَ بِهِمْ اجْتَمَعَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ سَكْرَةُ الْمَوْتِ وَحَسْرَةُ الْفَوْتِ. And then Amir al-Mu'mineen, he continued, because the time is constrained. That is why I have to leave the explanation. So this is the first stage of when our soul is taken out from our body. Then Amir al-Mu'mineen says, when the angel of death is stand before the human being, so these two things: number one, grief; number two, pain of death; and number three, وَفَتَرَتْ لَهَا أَطْرَافُهُ. When Malakul Maut start taking our soul out from our body, so our parts of body, they are loosened, they become weak, they are like not functioning, they lose their strength. And then Amir al-Mu'mineen, he says, وَتَغَيَّرَتْ لَهَا أَلْوَانُ. And this is the moment when the face of that person who is about to depart from this dunya, and the death started influencing in him, his face is changed, because the angels, he starts looking at the angels, he starts looking at the Malakul Maut, he starts looking at the awful manadir, he starts looking at the beautiful manadir of the hereafter in the alam al barzakh. So what happened? Fahila thumma zdad al maut fihim wulujan. His color of his face, color of his body is changed, and then ثم ازداد الموت فيهم ولوجا, when maut influence into him more, فحيل بين أحدهم وبين منطقهم, then maut become barrier in between human being and his tongue. Means his tongue start dysfunctioning. It is like his tongue is locked. So at that moment, human being is not able, in this stage, human being, in the first thing which is deactivated among the parts of body, it is our tongue, according to the interpretation of Amir al-Mu'minin. And then he says, فَهِيلَ بَيْنَ أَحَدٍ وَبَيْنَ مَنْطِقِهِ وَإِنَّهُ لَبَيْنَ أَهْلِهِ يَنْظُرُ بِبَصَرِهِ وَيَسْمَعُ بِأُذْنِهِ عَلَى صِحَّةٍ مِّنْ عَقْلِهِ وَبَقَاءٍ مِّنْ لُبِّهِ. Amir al-Mu'minin, he says that at that moment what happened, because his tongue is locked, so this man, he is dying and he is about to die, he is lying. He's just looking at his family member, those who are around him. يَنْظُرُ بِبَصَرِهِ وَيَسْمَعُ بِأُذْنِهِ, and he is able to still listen to them. And he is able to watch them, he is able to listen to them. But he wants to speak, he will not be able to speak. بَلَ عَلَى صِحَّةٍ مِّنْ عَقْلِ, but his aql, still it is working. It's not like it is dead. However, it is not working properly. However, it is not working 100%. But ala sihhatin min aql, his aql, his intellect is working. Wa baqa'in min lubbihi, his thought, it is working, it is there. And he wants to speak, but he is not able to speak. The first thing which is deactivated in our body at the time of death, it is our tongue. So Amir al-Mu'minin, he says, this man is looking at his family member with hasrat, with grief. He wants to tell to them something, but he is not able to speak with them. And that is why hadith of Ahlul Bayt, they told us that we have to write down our will in advance. And also according to ahadith, and also it is a jurisprudential issue. If someone, when it comes to the will, people, they ask, Maulana, is it wajib or is it mustahab? So the answer, what fuqaha they give, they say, writing a will, it is a mustahab act. But if you have rights of others on your shoulder, there are, you have taken loan from someone, or there is something which is on your neck, you have to pay it. So in this case, it is a wajib upon you to write your will, that this much amount, is belong to fulan and this and that, and there is a right of that person. So this thing has to be mentioned. So because at the time of death, the first thing which is stopped, it is our tongue. And then Amir al-Mu'minin continued. He said, "Yufakkiru fima afna umrahu." And this is the moment when human beings start thinking about his life, that where did he spend his life? وَفِيمَا أَذْهَبَ دَهْرُهُ, how he spent entire of his age and life. وَيَتَذَكَّرُ أَمْوَالًا جَمَعَهَا أَغْمَضَ مَطَالِبَهَا وَأَخَذَهَا مِنْ مُصَرَّحَاتِهَا وَمُشْتَبَهَاتِهَا. This is the moment when he starts thinking about his wealth, how he has gathered the wealth. How many people right he has snatched, and how many people right, or how many people wealth he has stolen. So at that moment he start thinking everything. This house I have stolen from someone. That thing I have stolen. There are so many rights of the people. So this is the moment this dead body start thinking about that, and he wants to tell to his people, but the tongue is locked at this juncture. And then Amir al-Mu'minin said, وَقَدْ لَزِمَتْهُ تَبِعَاتُ جَمْعِهَا. He will think how he has gathered the wealth. He will think how he has earned, whether it is legitimate way or illegitimate way. And then he will also think, because the thought is there, he is working. So he will think that now I am going to face the consequences of haram mal. Now I'm going to face the consequences and the result of what I have earned. And then وَأَشْرَفَ عَلَى فِرَاقِهِ, and he knew that he is about to depart from this dunya. It is a time of firaq. وَتَبْقَى لِمَنْ وَرَاءَهُ يُنَعِّمُونَ فِيهَا. Or the wealth which he has gathered, the saving that he had in his account, So he knew that other people are going to benefit from it, and I have sweat to gain all that wealth, to gain that money, or to gain this house. But now he realized that he is about to depart from this world. وَيَتَمَتَّعُونَ بِهَا. He will realize that now my inheritor, they will enjoy what I have gathered and what I earned, all the money. وَلَعَبَ فَيَكُونُ الْمَهْنَةُ لِغَيْرِهِ. Now my labor, I have paid so much effort. So he would realize that he paid effort and the benefit are going to be taken by others. And وَلَبَعُ عَلَى ظَهْرِهِ, and all the burden is on his shoulder. So this is the moment, this is called hasra, this is called grief. Inna a'zam, and that is why Amir al-Mu'minin at the place he says, the biggest grief of the human being on the day of judgment would be about his wealth, because he had earned the wealth which was illegitimate, and then he leaves it, and after he left it, his children or his inheritor, they will inherit it, and on the day of judgment he will see two different results of it. The person who earned, the person who paid effort, he will go in Jahannam because of the wealth, because he did not observe the conditions of earning. Those are given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So because he has stolen money, he has disheartened people, he has snatched the money. So this money he saved, and then what happened? His children and his descendants, they will inherit it. Because the children, they don't know whether how my father has earned this money. So it is halal for them. It was haram for him, but it is haram for them. It is halal for them. So what do? They will spend it in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Same wealth, the one who has earned, he will go into the Jahannam. Those who have used it, they will go into the Jannah. So on the day of judgment, such a person, he would have a'azamu al-hasarat, the greatest grief on the day of judgment. It is about our wealth. However, the khutbah, it is very lengthy and the time is almost over, so that is why I'll suffice over here. So in this khutbah, Amir al-Mu'minin, actually he is awakening us, and he's telling us that each and every person has to depart from this dunya, and we have to look after especially the wealth which we gather. And that is why in one of the hadiths I have seen that on the day of judgment, person, he will wish that he would have not earned the money. He would have not earned the wealth, especially we are talking about the haram wealth. Halal wealth, of course, we are it is recommended to earn maximum halal money. But when it comes to the haram, on the day of judgment, person, he will wish he should have not earned any money, and he should have given that money. Because in this life, you see, the person, when he earned money, he has so many challenges, so many competitors. So he would wish on the day of judgment that, gosh, I wish this wealth would have gone to those people, those who were my competitor. I would have not fallen, in this trouble. So that is why it is very important. Then we have to gather, zade akhirat, or provision for hereafter. And that is why, because this month, it is a month of Safar, and these days belong to the Ahlul Bayt alayhimu salatu wassalam when they returned from Karbala to Medina. And one of the bibi, one of the khatun, or the lady, whose name is Ummul Banin, the wife of Amir al-Mu'minin, or the mother of Abul Fazl Abbas, I would like to mention, some sentences about her. Narration says that when Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam was about to leave Medina, and he made an announcement that tomorrow I'm leaving Medina, heading toward the Karbala through the Makkah. So at the moment, so many people, they come to Amir al-Mu'minin. Like Abdullah ibn Abbas, he came to Amir al-Mu'minin. He said, Ya ibn Rasulullah, don't go to Iraq. Abdullah ibn Zubair also came. Ya ibn Rasulullah, do not leave Medina, stay over here. Ya ibn Rasulullah, don't go to Iraq. So many people, they come to Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. And so many also khawateen, like Salma also, she said to Imam al-Hussein. But Imam al-Hussein used to respond them Sha Allahu an yarani qatila. It is a decision of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is a desire of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He wants us to be killed in His way. This is how Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam used to respond. But I did not see single riwayah that the Banin, she came to Aba Abdullah al-Hussein and stopped him. But Banin, she came Aba Abdullah al-Hussein, but she did not stop him going to Karbala or going to Iraq. But Banin, she said, "Oh, my son Hussein, I know all the things what is going to happen with you. I'm sending my Abbas with you. I'm sending all his brother with you. Ya Hussein, Ya Aba Abdullah, I know that you are not going to come back from the Karbala. Just convey my salam to my Sayyida Fatima Zahra." This is the sincerity of al-Banin. She is conveying salam through the Aba Abdullah al-Hussein to Bibi Fatima Zahra. Narration says when this caravan, it comes back from Karbala, and now it is in Medina, and each and every person from Medina, each and every lady, she is coming to the Bibi Zainab alayhi salam, presenting her consolement, and she is crying, and they are crying before the Bibi Zainab. Narration says when al-Banin, she comes to Bibi Zainab alayhi salam, she said to Bibi Zainab, "Oh Zainab, just tell me about Abul Fadl Abbas. Did my son Abul Fadl Abbas fulfill his promise? Was he loyal to his promise?" Bibi Zainab alayhi salam, she started crying, and she said, "Oh mother al-Banin, yes, my brother Abul Fadl Abbas, as long as he was alive, we had no fear, we had security of our hijab. But when Abul Fadl Abbas' hands were cut, when Abul Fadl Abbas fell down from his horse, then after we lost our hope about our hijab." al-Banin, she asked Bibi Zainab alayhi salatu wasalam, "Do you have any memory of the Abul Fadl Abbas?" Narration here, it says that the Bibi Zainab alayhi salam, she took out shield of Abul Fadl Abbas. When al-Banin, she looked at the shield of Abul Fadl Abbas, it was damaged with so many swords. So al-Banin, when she looked at the shield, she realized how a big challenge and how a big time Abul Fadl Abbas had. And then al-Banin, she sat down on the floor. Bibi Zainab, she asked, "Oh mother, why did you sit down?" She said, "Oh Zainab, tell me, when my son Abul Fadl Abbas' hands were chopped, when my son had gurz or iron rod on his head, tell me how Abul Fadl Abbas fell down on earth while he did not have hands in his body." وَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيَّ مُنْقَلَبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our ibadat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to nurture our children in Islamic way. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to recite Quran. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to understand Quran and implement it in our life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to perform the righteous deed. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive the shortcoming of our marhumin, especially marhum Ayatollah Sayyid Fadil Milani. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala support those who are oppressed in the world, especially the people, those who are in Gaza and West Bank. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us a righteous people, so we can be among the supporter and among the assistant of Imam Sahib al-Asr al-Zaman Ajjallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasten the reappearance of our Imam. Wa akhiru da'wan alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ahli baytihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin rahimallahu man qara al-Fatiha.
السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا وارث آدم صفة الله. السلام عليك يا وارث نوح نبي الله. السلام عليك يا وارث إبراهيم خليل الله. السلام عليك يا وارث موسى كليم الله. السلام عليك يا وارث عيسى روح الله. السلام عليك يا وارث محمد حبيب الله. السلام عليك يا وارث أمير المؤمنين ولي الله. السلام عليك يا ابن محمد المصطفى. السلام عليك يا ابن علي المرتضى. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء. السلام عليك يا ابن خديجة الكبرى. السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثاره والبتر الموتور. أشهد أنك قد قمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونهيت عن المنكر وأطعت الله ورسوله حتى أتاك اليقين. فلعن الله أمة قتلتك، ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك، ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الإصلاب الشامخة والأرحام المطهرة، لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها ولم تلبسك من مدلهمات ثيابها. وأشهد أنك من دعائم الدين وأركان المؤمنين. وأشهد أنك الإمام البر التقي الرضي الزكي الحادي المهدي. وأشهد أن الأئمة من ولدك كلمة التقوى وعالم الهدى والأروة الوثقى والحجة على أهل الدنيا. وأشهد الله وملائكته وأنبياءه ورسوله أني بكم مؤمن وبآيابكم موقن بشرائع دين وخواتيم عملي وقلبي لقلبكم سلم وأمري لأمركم متبع. صلوات الله عليكم وعلى أرواحكم وعلى أجسادكم وعلى أجسامكم وعلى شاهدكم وعلى غائبكم وعلى ظاهركم وعلى باطنكم. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك يا ابن نبي الله. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا ابن الحسين الشهيد. والسلام عليك أيها الشهيد. والسلام عليك أيها المظلوم وابن المظلوم. لعن الله أمة قتلتك، ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك، ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. السلام عليكم يا أولياء الله وأحباءه. السلام عليكم يا أصفياء الله وأوداءه. السلام عليكم يا أنصار دين الله. السلام عليكم يا أنصار رسول الله. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار فاطمة سيدتي نساء العالمين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي محمد الحسن بن علي الولي الزكي الناصح. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي عبد الله. بابي أنتم وأمي تبتم وطابت الأرض التي فيها دفنتم ففزتم فوزا عظيما. فيا ليتني كنت معكم فأفوز معكم. السلام عليك يا أبي الفضل العباس بن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا ابن السيد الوصيين. السلام عليك يا ابن أول قوم الإسلام وأقدمهم إيمانا وأقومهم بدين الله وأخوتهم على الإسلام. أشهد لقد نصحت لله ولرسوله ولأخيك فنعم الأخ المواسي. فلعن الله أمة قتلتك، ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك، ولعن الله أمة استحلت منك المحارم وانتهكت حرمة الإسلام. فنعم الصابر المجاهد المحامي الناصر والأخ الدافع عن أخيه المجيب إلى طاعة ربه الراغب فيما زهد فيه غيره من الثواب الجزيل والثناء الجميل. والحقك الله بدرجة آبائك في جنات النعيم. السلام عليك يا غريب الغربة. السلام عليك يا معين الضعفاء والفقراء. السلام عليك يا شمس الشموس وأنيس النفوس. السلام عليك أيها المدفون بأرض توس. السلام عليك يا علي ابن موسى أيها الرضا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. الأمان 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 من جعول الزمان. عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله مخرجك وزهورك وجعلنا من أعوانك وأنصارك جميع رحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل على محمد وآله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآله. سورة البارك الفاتحة.